The turkey and ham week for Easter. They had no high drama to the places that I went to. And this is being recorded about a week after Easter. And the place I normally go to on Wednesday, they switched things up. And they had some pork loin there. So they had pork there, some pork tenderloin. They had a whole long slab of that. So they had enough to feed the family. So I got one. I didn't eat it all. I'm half of that going to go to the dog. But yeah, there was no high drama at the places I went to, like I normally would have seen. I guess they changed things up to calm down the high drama. They got that from not Forgotten Harvest, but they got that from Gleaners. That's where they get their food from, Gleaners. And a lot of times they get donations like from the Ford Motor Company or some places like that. A big manufacturer would donate hams or turkey for them. But this time they didn't have none for them. So they switched things up for Easter. But I ended up getting the turkey from this place I go to on Monday. They'd be looking out for me with a box for the holiday. So I ended up getting the turkey out that deal. I wasn't prepared for it. I thought I was going to get an Easter basket for my granddaughter, but I ended up getting the whole box. And a ham out the deal. Now I got a ham out the deal, and that covered me for Easter. That's what I wanted. It was some ham, not turkey. I had some turkey wings from the other place I went. So I was all set. Prior to Easter, I got that from a Thursday event. High Drama Thursday had me some turkey wings about a month earlier. So I had kept them frozen because they came frozen. So I kept them frozen so that when the Easter come, I have that to cook with the ham or whatever I would have caught up with. So I caught up with a ham, so that was my meal deal for Easter. But everywhere I went, I didn't go to, I had no place that had high drama for the turkey, that people be lined up out the door for it and bring everybody that they know to that event for that one time. So this time it was like that. They say they came to that Wednesday event, but I guess they was a little disappointed, but they had enough food to go around for everybody. So they didn't come up short. The last time they was coming up short because everybody was bringing everybody out, the whole family. The whole family, it became a big event for the whole family. So I guess they figured out how to do that a little differently, so they can share the wealth a lot more better. That's what they want to do. They want to share the wealth. And, people for their need for greed, they'll call everybody and their mama out to get a turkey, and there'll be a lot of people coming from one family loading up. But if they load up this time, they got the pork, instead of turkey and ham, they got some pork tenderloin, a big long pork tenderloin. So that was been happening for Easter. Then the week after Easter, we had some high drama at the Thursday food bank. They don't never fail to have some high drama there. Had one home girl, she came back with her daughter, and they brought somebody with them, so they was adding on, which is cool. But they sometimes they make you sign up, and sometimes they don't with the paperwork. But she was complaining, but like I said, when she complains, she comes out there pretty good at the end of the day. She complains about how they run their show, but at the end of the day, she comes out pretty good. She'd be on full between her and her daughter. They do pretty good. And they brought a friend, a male friend, so they did pretty good. But this time we had high drama from one of the church members. And this one is the one with the bad attitude. She got a quick attitude and she's a loudmouth. You like to yell and scream instead of talk to people. Before you know it, she's yelling and screaming at you. That's her first response, and she has to think before she speaks. That's what her problem is. She do not think before she speaks. And before you know it, she's yelling and screaming. So this time, she was on the sweets. She likes to do that sweets when the sweets come in. And this time, this person it was a lot of people, so they had broke it down to one sweet per person. Then sweep back around the second time. If there's anything left, then they'll give you that second choice of sweets. Well, this one guy, he had been there one time. He went through one of the houses. I don't know if it was the VA house or the homeless house for the neighborhood or the community. We got two shelters there. So he had been through that shelter once already, so I remember him working the door one time. But I guess he got out the shelter and got some independent living. But he came there to get some food. And he had got one suite, and he ended up going for the second suite. And then she called him and asked him how many he got, but she getting loud with him about it. She said, how many he got in that box? And then he said, just one. And he lied. And she called him in a lie. And she reached in the box and got the second suite out. See, now you got two in there. And showed him where the second suite is. Then she reached in there and got it out. That is not a good approach to have with people. What she did was just let them go with the two suites and say don't get no more, but you already got two. But she don't take it out and put it back on the table. The policy used to be if you put your hands on it, you can have it. You got to be back and forth with it. But, you know, that ain't realistic because by the time we get it, a lot of hands have touched it. So it's been well touched. You know, you're a germ freak, this ain't the place to be. This food get handled a lot before we get it. Even though it's packed up and wrapped and stuff, it still get handled a lot. I remember helping this one lady, she wanted some of the sweets that was at the bottom of a box, but they had came out. The package was loose. And she was getting them, picking them up by her hand and putting them back in the container, but it was hard to get the container out. So me and another lady helped to get the container out once she put them back in there. But that's high risk because it's out the container, and you know that's been handled a lot. But she didn't want to take that risk because she wanted them that bad. It was in the bread box. Sometimes there'd be some sweets still in the bread box. So she had got that. It was at the bottom of the bread box, so that's what she wanted. And we helped her get it. But like I said, this stuff get touched a lot. So if you're the type of person that's really concerned about germs, this is not the place to be, that's for sure. So anyway, how drama did that. And so she was yelling so loud that church members had to come over and ask her to calm that down. Because they said, you were being too loud. I hear you already across the room yelling at him. And he was a young male, and he never, unpredictable. People can be very unpredictable when you yell at them because that surprises them. You throw them off and they're yelling. Because it shouldn't be all that drama about that. It shouldn't be that serious about some throwaway food, especially sweets because they're already old. Shouldn't be that serious, but she took it serious. She take her job a little too serious. That's what I feel. She need to lighten up because it ain't that serious. And you can get a whole lot of stuff started over something that ain't about nothing sweets. She had it out with somebody else about them sweets. But like I said, she's hot-tempered. She's a hothead. It won't take her much to send her off, and when she do get off on left field, she's yelling and screaming before she know it. So by the time she got around to the meat line, they got it set up that the last thing you get up coming out the door is some meat. She had came around with another piece of sweet to make up for it. And she realized what she did was wrong and very offensive. And some people can take it the wrong way. And so she tried to come around and make up give him another piece of sweets. So he still ended with about 3 or 4 because 2 people gave him some sweets. So he ended up about 4, but it wasn't that important. We let people know that if you don't want a person to take 3 or 4, the person in charge told her, if you don't want nobody to take 3 or 4, hand it to her instead of them getting it. So you don't have to worry about all that high drama, all that yelling and screaming, and getting all upset over these throwaway food. Because it's throwaway food, so there's nothing to get upset about. So that's what's been happening with the food banks. I've been hitting most of the food banks. The one on Tuesday broke down to every Tuesday to every other Tuesday. The first, third, and the fifth Tuesday. They ain't competing against the other church, the Winers Church. They've got runs on Tuesdays and every second and fourth Tuesday. So they want to be closed. So them 2 days, I think they go to that church. I meant to ask them. I've been members of that church. They be promoting that church at their own food bank. So not only they do that, they probably members or know somebody that go to that food bank. But anyway, they broke that down to 2 to 3 times a month versus every Tuesday. So that's how that went down. So that's a little change that went on. But I did get a chance to go to my other Tuesday food bank. You get a lot of processed food there. They get their food from Gleaners. And they were serving chicken this time. So I had a chance to get my chicken. two-piece chicken, so that's like the Tuesday special. So you get a hot meal with them. And there's no high drama. The women go first. That's where they got that set up. And the men go second. And there'll be no high drama in there. Your bag's already pre-packed that you know what to get. And they keep an eye on you. Make sure that you ain't got no need for greed up in there. Just one lady, if she catches you, she'll ask you to put it back. But she won't be yelling and screaming at you. She'll just ask you to put it back. So most time I'm in there, people on their better behavior. They don't get all upset about little stuff. You don't get that much, but you get enough to get by for a day or two. Yep, I have to get that yarn in there for some reason though. But anyway, that's how that went down. But I had a chance to go to the bicycle shop and buy me a master link for a chain for the 10-speed I got that used to belong to my neighbor. I finally going to get a chance to ride it this year. I might even ride it this weekend if the weather's good. It's an old school 27-inch 10-speed, not a 15-speed, the original 10-speed when they went from 5-speed to 10-speed. The original one back in the 80s. It's belonged to my neighbor. Got the same name as mine. First name, that is. And so I get to ride my man's bike. He's not with us anymore. But the bike got thrown out when the house got sold. So I picked it up out the trash. I ain't got no shame in my game. I seen a good 10-speed. And I needed some tires, rims. I mean, not rims. Tires in it too, and a seat, and a bicycle, and the cables. I had to replace all the cables in it for the brakes, as well as for the derailleurs, the two derailleurs. I haven't replaced that yet, but I did the brakes. And I think I did do the two derailleurs. I did the two derailleurs. And I have to replace this link on the chain. So that's about 5 items that needed to be replaced. I had a seat already, so I got lucky, didn't have to buy a seat. And the rest of the parts I had the cables already. And the brakes were still good on. I had to rotate the brakes from one bike to another, because I had found another one out there. 10-speed, old school 10-inch 10-speed. This one is it's a Swin, so it's a brand name, and it's made in USA. This before they moved their company production overseas. So yeah, this is blue. That was his color. I guess that was his favorite color, was blue. So I'll be riding that bike. I'll be taking a picture of that bike and showing that bike off. In the near future, on one of the shows, you'll see the blue 10-speed. That'll be the bike that I brought back to life with a pretty minor investment, less than $50. Around about $50, that's what I got invested in it. So that's a good deal for that type of bike. And that's why I have running nets this month coming up, April, May. And then I have bought me some bolts. I re-threaded the bolt on that motor for the chain-driven motor that I bought over the winter. I'm just not getting around to figuring out how I can do it better instead of trying to find them bolts that are made from metric bolts. They're hard to find metric bolts in the hardware in the neighborhood. You have to buy in large quantity. There's one hardware I could have went to, they might have had it. But the size of the boat was smaller than I wanted it to be, so I wanted to upsize the boat, make it a little bigger. So I had a threader, a tool that rethreads the threads for a boat, but it made it a standard thread instead of a metric thread, which is right on time. So I bought some bolts that matched up to that threader, and I put one in there and then tightened up real good, so it worked real good. It ain't 100% straight because I'm doing it by hand, but it's 95% straight. So it's straight enough to get the job done. Everything don't have to be perfect to make it to work, especially when you're rigging something up. You're going against the flow of the manufacturer, not going with what the manufacturer had, making that adjustment, rigging it up your way so it can work for you. So hopefully I have that bike going with the 10-speed, with the other bike. I just bought my first motor this year, my replacement kit. I always got to buy a kit, because the kit runs about a year. The life expectancy on an electric bicycle is about a year. Something's going to go wrong. One of the three things you have that can go wrong. I know my throttle is sticking, so when I cut it on, it don't always hold in on position. So I know where that's going. That means I got to replace the throttle. And then, the controller can easily get burnt out. The battery shorted out on me already, so I got to replace that again this year. I was going to do it anyway because it's almost 2 years old. But I bought me another kit. I bought me a rear wheel kit for 500 watt, 350 volt for the battery, so I can match everything up. I still want to match everything up around the 350 volt, more so than the 48 volt. I just don't have, the cost factor go up for the battery. That's for sure. So I going to hook that up. I got my extension bars on it, so I'm going to do that old school chopper style. It'll be like a chopper style bicycle, so it's going to be kind of noticeable. Last month I put the extension bar on it with the banana seat, so it should be pretty slick. This is a spring bike. You got the front springs and the middle springs. So I got a lot of springs in that one, so that's the old style with something new. New style with something old. So that's how that is. So we got the new style bike itself, but with the old style handlebars and the seat with the extension bar or sissy bar. So it should have a different look with electric motor. So that's three different things that I'm combinating with. So I'm tricking it out a little bit. So it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I'll put a picture up of that bike too once I get it hooked up. But I should be able to ride it this weekend. I just put another seat on it. I got a seat that I'm going to share off another bike. The one that's chain driven, I'm going to share that seat with that bike. So, because it got the carry on it for the battery. So I got my box battery. It's working good. Once I figure out how to put that fuse on there, now I'm getting my money's worth out of it. I had almost a year before I really hooked it up. So I was running off the other battery. That was my backup battery. And I never could get the second wheel going. But this year I will have two wheels going at the same time, hopefully. And that'll be a first out of about 4 different tries. So if it don't work the first time, you got to keep working at it. But I try not to put too much money into it. But, I do spend $500 to $1,000 a year on these bicycles. Eventually, I spent about $1,000 last year. My goal was to be around $500. But I spent over $1,000 last year, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens. That's for sure. And that's what's happening with the bikes, and that's what's happening with the food bank. So this is pretty much a wrap-up for this month of April. And we got May coming in. So we'll see what happens this month of May. We got no major holidays coming up, so there shouldn't be no drama. We got some changes coming with the food bank. We'll see if they're going to be off. The High Drama Food Bank say they're going to be off this month. They're going to take a month off from the community, giving themselves a break from the community. And I guess also to remind the community they're not obligated to do nothing for them. Sometimes they have to take that break to put that, to make that clear with the community that they're not obligated to open up the fair food bank to the community. And so they said they're going to take a month off, so we will see this Thursday, which is today. We'll see today whether they're on or off. I'll ride by there and check them out. But until then, later, gator.